Welcome to Red Story Friends. If you enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss my other stories. Your support means a lot to me. The Downward Spiral of Love, Michael's story. Anna and I had been married for 10 years when everything started to change. We were the couple everyone admired, 2 boys, a comfortable home, and a relationship that had stood the test of time. I loved her fiercely, and she loved me. Or at least I thought she did. Our love was the kind of story you tell your kids, a fairy tale that felt like it would never end. But even fairy tales have their dark chapters. The first sign was so small, I barely noticed it. About a year ago, we had friends over for dinner. Anna had always enjoyed a glass of wine with guests, but that evening, something was different. She kept refilling her glass, her laughter louder, her words slurred by the end of the night. I thought it was just the excitement of having friends over. After all, we were both working hard and juggling our kids' lives. Maybe she needed to unwind. I brushed it off, but it didn't stop. Soon, every gathering became an opportunity for her to drink more than usual. At first, it was just when people came over. But then, I started noticing that she'd already had a couple of drinks before anyone arrived. I tried talking to her about it, gently at first. "Anna, you're drinking more than usual. Do you think maybe we should slow down a little?" She laughed it off. "Michael, please. I'm just having fun. Everyone drinks. Don't be so serious." And just like that, she'd wave away my concern with a smile and another drink. It wasn't until months later that I realized how bad things had become. I had stayed late at work, and when I got home, Anna wasn't there. It was almost 11 p.m., and she wasn't answering her phone. I started to worry. She finally came through the door, drunk. Her clothes were wrinkled, her hair messy, and her speech almost incoherent. I stood there in shock as she stumbled through the entryway, mumbling something about a stressful day at work. "Anna, you've been drinking again," I asked, trying to hide the frustration and fear creeping into my voice. "Michael, I just needed a drink. Work's been stressful." This time, I wasn't so sure she could just stop whenever she wanted. From that night on, things escalated quickly. Anna's drinking wasn't just an occasional slip anymore. It became frequent, almost daily. She'd come home from work and pour herself a drink before even saying hello to me or the boys. Weekends were even worse. She'd drink from the afternoon until she passed out on the couch. Our sons, Jack and Lucas, were just 7 and 10, but they weren't blind to what was happening. One night, after Anna had fallen asleep on the couch, Jack came to me with wide eyes. "Dad, is Mom sick? Why does she sleep so much during the day?" It broke me. How could I explain to my child that his mother wasn't sick in the way he thought? I knelt down and hugged him tightly. "Mom's going through a tough time, buddy, but we're going to help her. Don't worry." But I didn't know if we could help her. The more she drank, the further away she seemed. I could feel the connection between us slipping through my fingers, and I didn't know how to stop it. Anna's drinking started affecting her work. She was late for meetings, missing deadlines, and getting into arguments with her coworkers. I remember the day she came home in tears, holding a letter in her hand. "They fired me, Michael," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "What? Why? What happened?" "They said I was unreliable. I missed too many meetings, and—" She didn't finish her sentence, but I didn't need her to. I knew. Her drinking had cost her the job she loved. From that day on, she withdrew even more. She stopped seeing friends, stopped going out except to drink. The vibrant social woman I had married was gone. In her place was someone I barely recognized. I wasn't willing to give up on her, not yet. I reached out to a psychologist, hoping therapy could help. I scheduled sessions for us, and for a few weeks, things seemed to improve. Anna attended regularly, and after each session, she would come home sober and apologetic. "I'm sorry, Michael," she'd say. "I know I've been difficult. I'm trying." But the improvement was short-lived. She'd stay sober for a week, maybe 2, but then something would trigger her, a stressful day, a family argument, or even just boredom, and she'd drink again. The psychologist wasn't enough, so I found an addiction counselor. Anna agreed to meet with him, and again, things would improve for a while. "I can do this, Michael," she'd tell me after a few sessions. "I just need to stay strong." But deep down, I knew it was a battle she wasn't winning. It was during one of her meetings with the addiction counselor that Anna mentioned something I hadn't known before. "My great-grandmother, she drank too," she admitted quietly, almost ashamed. "My mom used to talk about it when I was little. She was always drunk, always causing problems for the family. It struck me like a punch to the gut. This wasn't just Anna's struggle. It was something that had been haunting her family for generations, and now it was threatening to destroy ours. One night, Anna came home later than usual. I was sitting on the couch, waiting, my heart heavy with dread. She stumbled through the door, clearly drunk, her face flushed. I didn't say anything. I helped her to bed, covered her with a blanket, and sat beside her as she mumbled incoherently. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Without thinking, I picked it up. I don't know why I did it, maybe out of curiosity, or maybe out of fear, but I unlocked her phone and scrolled through her messages. What I found shattered whatever hope I had left. There were photos, pictures of Anna with her drinking buddies, mostly men. They were in bars, at parties, laughing and drinking together. It wasn't just the alcohol anymore. She was living a separate life, a life I wasn't a part of. I felt my heart sink. How had it come to this? How had we gone from the perfect couple to this? I closed her phone and sat there in the dark, staring at the woman I once loved more than anything. Divorce, a word I never thought I'd consider, now loomed large in my mind. The next morning, I couldn't hold it in anymore. As Anna woke up, still groggy from the night before, I sat on the edge of the bed, holding her phone. "Anna, I know about the photos," I said quietly. She looked at me, confusion turning into guilt as she realized what I meant. "Michael, I didn't mean for it to go this far. I'm sorry." But sorry wasn't enough. Not anymore. "I don't know if we can keep doing this," I whispered, my voice shaking with the weight of the words. She cried, but I was numb. I didn't have the strength to comfort her anymore. I was done trying to fix something that was already broken beyond repair. For the first time in our marriage, I didn't know if there was a way back. The woman I had loved was gone, replaced by someone I barely recognized, and I didn't know if I had the strength to hold on any longer. Our story wasn't over yet, but I feared the ending was closer than either of us wanted to admit. Update. It's been 3 months since that night, and things are still uncertain. Anna has been attending rehab and seeing a new counselor, but I can't say that everything is fixed. Some days I see glimpses of the woman I fell in love with, the caring, vibrant Anna who made me laugh, who was the love of my life. Other days I see someone still struggling with her demons. We've decided to take things one step at a time. I haven't filed for divorce, but I also haven't fully committed to staying. It's hard to know what the right decision is when you have children who depend on you, and a history that stretches back so far. For now, I'm focusing on the boys. They're my priority. Jack and Lucas have seen too much already, and they deserve a stable home, even if it means their parents might not be together forever. Anna has made some progress, but it's fragile. I don't know if this time will be any different. I want to believe it will be, for the sake of our family, but I've learned that love isn't always enough. Maybe we'll find our way back to each other, or maybe this is the beginning of the end. Only time will tell. Comments. LIMT_man, I feel for you. My dad went through something similar with my mom. It's so hard to know when to walk away and when to keep fighting. Stay strong for your kids, but don't lose yourself in the process. Emily. Your story hits close to home. My brother struggled with addiction for years, and it nearly tore our family apart. I hope Anna can stay on the path of recovery, but you also need to take care of yourself. Sending you strength. Sophie. It's heartbreaking to see how alcohol can destroy even the strongest of relationships. I admire your courage for sharing this, and I hope that both of you can find healing, whether together or apart. Your boys are lucky to have a father who cares so much. Mason G. Been there, man. It's tough to balance love with reality when someone you care about spirals like that. You've done more than most would, and no one can blame you if you decide to move on. Wishing you the best.